Have you ever felt like you're just wrestling with technology, trying to get it to do what you want? Well, today, we're going to flip that script. We are going to build a personalized AI assistant. And the best part? You don't need to be a tech wizard to do it. This is all about making technology finally work for you.
Oh man, if you've ever used something like ChatGPT for a task you have to do over and over, you know this feeling deep in your bones. You spend all this time crafting the perfect, super detailed prompt, only to have to type it all out again tomorrow, and the day after that. It's just a frustrating loop.
Yeah, that's what it is, right? It's digital déjà vu. It's that feeling that just screams, this should be automated. And you know what? The good news is, it can be. There is a better way, and we're about to show you exactly what it is. So the solution to this endless cycle is something called a custom GPT. And I want you to think of it not as a totally different thing from ChatGPT, but more like an evolution of it, one that's been tailored specifically for you.
And this right here is the core idea. You see, standard ChatGPT is like that classic Swiss Army knife. It's got a tool for pretty much everything, but you have to pull out the right one and figure out how to use it every single time. A custom GPT, on the other hand, is like a perfectly sharpened chef's knife. It's designed and honed for one specific job, and it does that job beautifully.
And this is really the key difference. A custom GPT isn't some brand new AI. It's just ChatGPT with like a permanent job description. You give it preloaded instructions, you give it a very focused purpose, and it remembers that stuff every single time. It's the end of that Groundhog Day loop we were talking about.
So how do you actually build one of these things? I know it might sound complicated, but honestly, it all boils down to a super simple 3-step blueprint.
That's it. It's as simple as this. First, you define its purpose. Then, you design its rules. And finally, you test it like crazy to make it strong. Define, design, and test. That's the whole framework right there.
Okay, let's dive into that first step, defining your mission. It all starts with filling in the blanks of this simple, but honestly, incredibly powerful sentence. So you're not just building a tool, you're creating a specific solution for a specific person to do a specific thing in a specific way.
And this is where getting crystal clear becomes your superpower. Saying you want a GPT for marketing is way too vague. That's a recipe for a mess. But a GPT that helps social media managers write Instagram captions in our company's brand voice, that is a mission. Specificity is absolutely everything.
Okay, next up is the design phase. This is where you get to be the architect of your AI's entire personality and behavior. You're basically writing its source code, but just in plain English. And the difference it makes is like night and day. A vague command gets you a vague, kind of useless result. But a specific, rule-based instruction, well, that creates a reliable and predictable assistant you can actually count on.
And finally, you test. But look, you're not just testing to see if it works when everything goes perfectly. That's what we call the happy path. No, the real magic is in stress testing. You have to actively try to confuse it, give it incomplete information, push it to do things it wasn't designed for. This is how you find the cracks in the armor and make it truly solid.
All right, now before you get all excited and rush off to build your world-changing AI assistant, it is so important to just pump the brakes for a second. We need a quick reality check on what these things can and can't do. They're powerful for sure, but they're not magic.
So here's the deal. These tools are fantastic for processing information and generating text inside their little sandbox, but they can't actually do things in the real world. They can't send an email for you, they can't book a meeting, and they definitely can't access your company's live sales data. They're here to augment your workflow, not replace it entirely.
And you know, knowing when not to build one is just as important as knowing when to build one. If it's a one-off task, a standard prompt in ChatGPT is just faster. If your problem is way too broad or needs live up-to-the-minute data, you're just setting yourself up for frustration. It's all about using the right tool for the job.
This quote from the source material just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? The real power of a custom GPT comes from its focus. Trying to build an everything tool is the fastest way to create a nothing tool that doesn't really do anything well at all.
So, with that blueprint in your back pocket, and with that reality check in mind, the question now turns to you. Now that you know the how, it's time to start thinking about the what. This, right here, is the key that unlocks your very first project. Seriously, think about your work. Think about your hobbies, your daily routines. Where is your Groundhog Day moment? That's your starting point. It could be drafting those weekly reports, brainstorming social media ideas, or even just summarizing articles you need to read.
At the end of the day, the big takeaway here isn't just a set of instructions. It's a whole new way to think about solving problems.
You now have a blueprint to build a tool that can save you time, streamline your work, and just get rid of your most annoying, repetitive tasks. So the only question left is, which problem are you going to solve first?